Hi there, Leo. Thank you for joining me for your weekly forecast for week commencing the 15th of August. This can be such an important week for your relationships. Now, relationships come in many different guises, so it doesn't have to be an up-close, personal and sensual one. It could be with someone you encounter on an everyday basis or work with, someone within the family. But the issue is that with the sun in your sign, obviously that gives you a lot more radiance, and there has been a transition of planets from Leo into the sign of Virgo, which is much more about the earthy side of life, how you actually see the tangible side of your values and how they mesh in with other people. But this week there is a lunar eclipse in your opposite sign of Aquarius. Aquarius energy is quite different from Leo energy. It's more detached, it's more airy. Where you are a fire sign, Aquarius, certainly around relationships, tends to step back a little bit, tries to be a little bit more logical in its approach. But both these influences, the sun in your sign, or the luminary, which is the sun, and the moon in Aquarius, are challenged, but in a very stimulating way, by Uranus, the planet of change, which has been in a very adventurous part of your situation for the last 4 or 5 years. And if you have felt during that period of time kind of hemmed in and needing more individual freedom and space to do your own thing, it really wouldn't be a surprise. Now, of course, Uranus had been clashing for about 2.5 years with Pluto, which is in your sector of obligations. And so I do feel that there's been a back and forth going on until this spring between what you feel you should be doing for other people in terms of being in your bit, and the other side that really wants to follow your heart. And that kind of energy really re-emerges this week. Now, it can be a very good thing because you can be actually quite a conservative person in your own way and stick at things for the long term, but sometimes that can see you staying in situations because of your fixed energy long beyond the sell-by date. And what Uranus is saying to you is that if a relationship would benefit from some kind of shaking up, this is probably the time to really go for it. And of course, with all eclipses, they run on beyond just the scope of this week. So for some months to come now, I do feel that there's part of you that's going to be much more enterprising, much more inquisitive. You're going to want to be in with people who switch on your mind, your senses, excite you, and travel could actually be part of that, or connecting with people who are very different to you. Now, the other key factor that's going to be influencing relationships this week is that Mars goes alongside Saturn. Saturn is the planet of restriction, and of course for over a year it's been in your sector of romance. Now, when Mars and Saturn get together, it can give us an awesome ability to push on hard and really concentrate on something that's mightily important to us, a creative project in this case, or perhaps a relationship, especially a romantic one, or helping our children around their talents. But when these two get very close together, it can see us becoming much more exasperated if we don't get what we want from situations. And you may find yourself getting a little bit tetchy if you are feeling hemmed in, as I explained before. But of course, relationships are not a relationship unless it's really a two-way street. So it's not all about what we get from it, it's about what we give and others get from us. So stay mindful of that. And I think what will help you to do that is that Mercury and Jupiter get together in the second half of this week. Now, Mercury and Jupiter in a combination can definitely make us more optimistic about our thinking, and it could also bring some good fortune your way around a business idea you have, or around marshalling your resources, or perhaps you're just going to have a sheer stroke of good fortune. So if you do enjoy having a little bit of a flutter, the second half of this week may be the time to go for it within what you can safely afford. But I do feel the big issue this week is all about how you interact with others. I think it's time to really spark things up, bring an extra effervescence to your existence, especially if things have got rather stale and predictable. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Leo. Good luck and goodbye for now.